Hey guys, it's Marty and welcome to Two Line Slot Cars. This week, I just have a million things going on. Racing season is upon us. Next Thursday is the first night of racing at Cincy Slots. Shout out to Bruce, Josh, and a bunch of the guys down there. And we can't wait to have some fun. The first month of racing at Cincy Slots, we are doing 2 analog classes. Typically, it's an analog class and a digital class, but we have so many analog cars we want to run. First month and the last month of the season, we're going to be doing 2 analog classes. And so this time, it will be slotted Group C cars. We've got the Hexcel car as one of my cars. We'll also be doing the sideways Group 5. So I've been tuning on the Pennzoil Skyline primary. My secondary is the BMW M1. We all know that I've struggled to get this thing tuned. It doesn't want to stay in the slot. It's very tail happy. Can't seem to correct it. And then also I'm in the midst of tuning up my new Fat Turbo. I love this car. This car is sweet. So that's what we're doing this week. Just a multitude of things. I'm going to kind of walk around the shop. I'm multitasking. I'm doing a million things at once. I'm truing tires for the Fat Turbo. I'm breaking in the Fat Turbo motor. I'm doing some polishing of the gears. I am also considering redoing the track. I'm really hooked on the analog racing right now. I'm looking at a 4-lane track and 4-lane layouts, and I'm really going to need you guys to talk me out of it because we love this layout. The beautiful thing about plastic track is we can go back to this anytime we want. It would be fun to do some 4-lane racing. And so the whole process, I love trying to design a new track. And so I sort of get obsessed about it. It's all I've thought about for the last 2 weeks since I got back from racing at Butch's Wood Track. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if this is the right thing or not, but we're going to dive into the miscellaneous video. I'm going to walk through all the things that I'm doing. So let's get to it. So like I said, I'm tuning the Fat Turbo, and right now, over on the power supply, the track power supply, I am breaking in that motor. I used a little bit of some polishing compound that I found out in the garage. You can also use toothpaste, put it on the gears, and I'm running that in for about an hour at 4 volts. It's just where I started. It's not necessarily the perfect thing to do. We're going to test it out and see how it goes. So about an hour at 4 volts, and then I think I'll go like maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes at like 9 volts to finish it off. This car gets around the track. It's very smooth, but I wanted to true the front tires. And so that's one of the things that we're allowed to do in the rules is we can glue and true the fronts and then polish them. And so that's one of the things that I need to do. So if we flip over to the desk cam, so you can see I've got the truer ready to go. I got a little bit of water here that I keep the tires moist. So let's just do this for a second here. I'm running not too fast, about 3.5 volts. We'll just true those front tires. I'm using water just as a lubrication, just so that these they don't start balling up on me and warm up on me. And so I'm really close. I just wanted to make sure that they're good and round. The slotted front ends, you can really adjust them. So I feel like I don't really need to go super low with the front tires. But after I get them trued here, which I am about finished, then I'm going to hit them with some floor polish. Some people use super glue. Some people use some other things, nail polish. But that tends to get noisy for me on the car, and I really don't like that. So let's turn the power off, take a look. I really like what I've got here. They're nice and round. So let's pull the sandpaper out. And then we can crank this up a little bit. And then, let's see, where's my floor polish? And so now that I've got the tires trued, I'm going to hit them with a little bit of Quick Shine floor polish. This is for hardwood floors, Mop and Glow. Any floor polish would work. I like this because it makes them fairly zero grip, the front tires, but it is easy to reapply, and then it doesn't make the car noisy. Super glue tends to make the front tires hard, and then they become noisy on the plastic track. I don't think it's a big deal on the wood track, but on the plastic track, it gets really noisy, and I really like for my cars to be quiet. So let's jump back in. Let's polish these up real quick, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So I just basically take polish, put it on a little rag, I'll turn it on, and then we will just hit the tires with the polish. And just polish those nice and smooth. So we'll let that polish dry, and then we'll hit it again. Also does a nice job of cleaning the tires a little bit. And you can see as the polish starts to dry, and then just hit them again. And then we'll let that dry. And I may put a few more coats on before we're done. So that's prepping the front tires for the Fat Turbo, the Group C car from Slotted. Let's see what else we have. We're over here at the track. I'm running in the motor. Like I said, I use some polish. So let's go check it out. Okay. I have it set up here. I've got the body off so I can see. We've just put some, it's a little messy, but put some polishing compound on those gears. Run it in at 3.96 volts. Been at it for about a half an hour. And you can hear just how smooth that motor is and those gears are. Now make sure you lube the motor really good and the bushings so that you don't want them overheating. So while that's doing that, let's talk about the track. You guys know I love my layout. Do a real quick walkthrough. Here's the start-finish line for digital. Yes, I'm still running the 2 lines box. The digital pit lane here on the front stretch. It goes into this cotter pin turn, into the short chute underneath the bridge, and the nice long back stretch into the Rob Snyder Memorial turn, into the S's, one of my favorite parts of this track, into the hairpin, which is not really a hairpin, 230 and 330 turn, I believe. 330, 415 turn. As you can see, it's a great layout. 8-foot table, 24 feet long. But you look at my room. So I'll stand back so you can actually see the room. The room is about 12 feet wide, and it's got this little 2-foot section that pushes it out to 14 feet wide. The edge of the table is at right at 24 feet, and then I've got about 2.5 feet on the end to get around the table. Got about 1.5 feet on that side, and about almost 3 feet here. It would be great to be able to make this a 4-lane. Right now I've got 97-foot lane lengths, but I have a feeling that it'll be tough to get over 55 feet. I've got a few plans I'll show you on the screen that I've worked up that I can get up to about 65, 66, 67 feet of lane length on all 4. Even lane spacing, sort of an interesting layout, but I don't know, guys. You need to talk me out of this. So let's go to the computer and check it out. But I've talked about it. I really want to consider a 4-lane track. But I hate to pull my Carrera. I have a big investment in Carrera. My brother's invested in it. John Mark is invested in this. I don't want to bail on Carrera. I really like Carrera track. Been doing some design work, and I can't really come up with anything. I want to take advantage of a lot of track that I already have. I would like to do it without having to buy anything, but I'm coming up with a few things that probably going to cause me to have to buy a little bit of track, but not a whole lot. But I'm starting to come up with some designs I think I can live with. I have a very long table, but it's kind of narrow. Now, I know Billy will give me a hard time saying that I worried about designing something for 8-foot table that's 24 feet long, that I have plenty of room for a 4-lane track. I don't have unlimited track pieces. So I started looking for different designs out there, and I came up with this design. So let's go here. So this design is not an original design. But I think with my space and layout, I want a track that flows really well. I don't want just a bunch of left hand, right hand, 90-degree turns. And that's what you end up getting with a 4-lane track in the space that I have. I really wanted a long straight stretch so I could open up the cars a little bit. And so this was a first run at it. But this track is based on a Google search that I found, a guy named Ed Sexton. And let's take a look at Ed's track. So here's Ed's track. And I counted the pieces. There are 2 shots. This shot, and there's another from the other end. So I could get an idea of what kind of turns he was using and what, how long this was. And this track looks really big in this picture. And so, but when I translated it to, this is what it looks like. And so it would fit on my 24-foot table. It's an 8-foot wide table. It fits pretty easy. The only problem I have is I have a pole right back here. And so I think I would have to flip this track the other direction. So I started messing with the design a little bit, and I came up with this design, which has a little wider turns and has a little different flow and is a little longer lane length. So it's growing on me. But as you can see, I started putting the existing digital pieces that I have in and doing some fun stuff with the pit stops, because I still want this to be a 4-lane digital track and a 4-lane analog track. And so I think I've figured out how wiring that up happens. And so that will be the project if I go this route. Talk me out of it, guys. Tell me I want to stay with my 2-lane. I know I spend a lot of time by myself, and so a 2-lane track is fine. But when John Mark and Dusty come over, Daryl comes over, Josh comes over, other people come over, if we're not racing digital, then we usually have a couple people sitting and watching, and that's okay. I usually tune cars while everybody else is lapping. I am Marshall, so I enjoy that. But I think it would be fun to have a 4-lane track. I've really enjoyed the other 4-lane tracks that I've been on. They're just fun. And if I have a race day and there's about 12 people here, a 4-lane track has fewer people standing around. This is one of the layouts I'm considering. And guys, I've looked at all kinds of different layouts. Let's see, what else have we done? So I've done this layout. I probably should save this. So I've done lots of different layouts. Here's a version. So there's one. Let's see, that's version 5. Here's a version. It's a different version. Nice little S's through there. About 60-foot lane length, just to give you an idea. Here's a couple of different layouts. One is the original. One was one I was trying to make a little bigger with a little better flow. I like my S turns, and so this has some S's on the bottom. So I've gone through lots of iterations. Tell me what you think. Any of those look good? Do you think those would be fun layouts? They're all 60 to 65. I think the biggest one is 68-foot lane length. So nothing like my 97-foot lane length, but I think there's some manageable designs there. I think we could find something if we wanted to try 4-lane. And most of those, I don't have to buy a whole lot of track. There you have it. There's some designs. This is probably the most random slot car video you've ever seen. I am multitasking. I'm doing lots of crazy things, trying to prepare for this race season. Heck, I've got 2 conversations going on, one with John Albright and one with Daryl Rogers about Trans Am cars. That's a class that I don't even race until February. So, guys, racing season is upon us. And what are you doing to prep for racing season? I know not everybody out there races at a club. A lot of you just mess around at the home track. I get that. But for those of you who do race, what are some of the things that you do to prepare yourself for race season? Tune cars, get some practice laps in, get your controller dialed in. What are some of the things that you do? I'm excited about this season. We've put a lot of time and energy and effort into learning to tune better, getting better at driving, trying some new things. And I think that Dusty and John Mark and I, all 3, will go and improve. Now, we don't take this too serious. We have a lot of fun. We poke fun at each other. We just really enjoy being around people that are having fun in this hobby. So that's what we've got going on. Lots of randomness tonight in this video. I apologize if this was a boring video. I apologize if it doesn't really make any sense. This is a typical Friday night for me. I sit down here at the track. I tune some cars. I run some laps. I do a video. I work on some content. And I really just had a million things to do to get done. I really didn't have time to make a video. I've kind of squeezed it in. So, yeah. So the question is, what are you going to do about race season? If you like this kind of content, if you've enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button. Give me a like. Hit the bell so you get notified anytime I put out new content. Guys, I'm excited about this race season. Hopefully we have a great time. That's the bottom line. Hopefully we learn something. Hopefully we get a little faster. Hopefully we stay in the slot. But most important, we will go and have fun. Bottom of the line. End of story. So I hope you guys get out there and have some fun racing.